02:17 a.m., Strait of Hormuz. The water appears calm. Thermal sensors show nothing unusual. Radar returns are clean. Electronic surveillance is silent. And yet, a U.S. Navy destroyer has just slowed to 5 knots in one of the most strategically critical waterways on Earth. This should not be happening behind it. A line of commercial tankers begins to compress, their spacing collapsing from safe nautical intervals into a dense, vulnerable cluster. Oil flow, nearly 20% of the world's supply, moves through this corridor. Every minute of delay compounds into global consequence. The destroyer is not damaged, it is waiting for confirmation that does not come, waiting for clearance that cannot be given, waiting for a threat that cannot be seen. Because somewhere beneath the surface, invisible and passive, lies a weapon that does not need targeting data, does not emit signals, and does not follow the rules of modern warfare. A mine. And in that moment, the most advanced naval force in history is forced into hesitation by the simplest weapon in naval history. The question is not why the ship slowed down. The question is why the entire system behind its satellites, drones, sensors, algorithms suddenly stopped working. Because this is not a failure of strength, it is a failure of the kill chain itself. The Strait of Hormuz is not just narrow, it is mathematically constrained. At its tightest navigable point, the shipping lanes are only 2 miles wide in each direction, separated by a 2-mile buffer zone. That means all traffic, tankers, escorts, patrol vessels, must pass through predictable corridors. There is no room for maneuver. To the north lies Iran's coastline, stretching over 1,500 kilometers, filled with hidden coves, small ports, and dispersed launch points. To the south, open water offers no cover. Every vessel entering the strait is effectively entering a funnel. Now consider the physics. A modern tanker, fully loaded, cannot stop quickly. At 15 knots, its stopping distance exceeds several kilometers. Its turning radius is equally constrained. It is not a maneuverable asset. It is a moving target. Now layer in the mine. Naval mines are not sophisticated in the conventional sense. They do not chase targets. They do not require guidance systems. They wait. Some are moored, tethered just below the surface. Others rest on the seabed, activated by pressure changes, magnetic signatures, or acoustic profiles. They are cheap, they are passive, and they are scalable. A single minefield can contain hundreds of devices deployed in hours by small boats or submarines. And here lies the strategic dilemma. The U.S. Navy's dominance is built on visibility, speed, and precision. Its systems are designed to detect, track, and eliminate threats before they can act. But a mine does not act. It exists. There is no launch signature, no radar return, no infrared plume, no communication signal, which means there is nothing to detect until it is too late. The geography compresses movement, the physics limits reaction, and the weapon removes visibility. Together they create a problem that cannot be solved with traditional force, because the kill chain depends on something fundamental. Detection, and in the Strait of Hormuz, detection is exactly what Iran's mine strategy denies. To understand why this breaks the system, one must first understand how the system is supposed to work. The modern naval kill chain is a sequence. It begins with detection. Satellites scan vast areas of ocean, identifying anomalies. Drones extend this reach, providing persistent surveillance. Radar systems track surface contacts. Electronic intelligence captures emissions. Once a target is detected, data flows through secure networks to command centers. Algorithms assist. In classification, human operators confirm. Then comes decision. Rules of engagement, threat assessment, and strategic priorities converge into a single command: engage or hold. If engagement is authorized, weapons are deployed. Missiles launch. Aircraft sortie. Guns track and fire. The entire process, from detection to destruction, can occur in minutes. It is a system built for active threats, missile boats, aircraft, submarines, targets that move, emit, and reveal themselves through action. But a mine does none of these. It does not appear on radar as a distinct target. It does not emit signals for electronic systems to intercept. It does not move in ways that trigger tracking algorithms. It is, from the perspective of the kill chain, invisible. And so the first link, detection, fails. Without detection, there is no data. Without data, there is no decision. Without decision, there is no action. The chain collapses before it begins. This is not a gap in capability. It is a structural mismatch between system design and threat design. The U.S. Navy built a system optimized for speed and precision against active adversaries. Iran deployed a weapon optimized for patience and ambiguity. And in that mismatch, the advantage shifts. Because the absence of information is not neutral. It is paralyzing. But here's the problem. The Navy is not unaware of mines. It has dedicated systems for mine countermeasures, specialized ships, unmanned underwater vehicles, helicopters equipped with sonar arrays. These systems are designed to detect and neutralize mines. In theory, they restore the kill chain. In practice, they introduce a new constraint. Time. Mine detection is not instantaneous. It is methodical. Sonar systems must scan the seabed in narrow swaths. Each pass covers limited area. Each contact must be classified: rock, debris, or mine. False positives are common. Every anomaly requires verification. This process is measured in hours, sometimes days, for a single square mile. Now consider the scale. The Strait of Hormuz is over 20 miles wide at its broadest and stretches nearly 100 miles in length. Even focusing on shipping lanes, the area to be cleared is vast, and during this time, traffic cannot safely pass. The presence of even a suspected minefield forces a slowdown, a pause, a backlog, and this is where escalation begins. Because Iran does not need to mine the entire strait, it only needs to create uncertainty. A few mines, placed strategically, can force the U.S. Navy to assume many more, and assumption is enough to trigger the slow, deliberate process of clearance, which means the system designed to ensure safety becomes the mechanism of delay. And delay in a global choke point is a strategic effect, but the escalation does not stop there. Because while the Navy is focused on clearing mines, it becomes predictable. Its mine countermeasure vessels move slowly. Its helicopters follow patterns. Its drones operate in defined areas, and predictability introduces vulnerability. Now the system is not just slowed, it is exposed, and this is where the second layer of Iran's strategy emerges. The mine is not the weapon, it is the trigger. Once the Navy commits to mine clearance operations, it shifts from high-speed maneuver warfare to slow, methodical scanning. Its formation changes, its tempo drops, its attention narrows, and in that state, it becomes susceptible to other threats: fast attack craft, coastal missile batteries, drones. These are not deployed randomly. They are integrated into a layered system. The minefield creates the condition. The follow-on forces exploit it. But the true disruption occurs deeper, in the flow of information. Because the kill chain is not just about weapons, it is about confidence. Confidence in detection. Confidence in classification. Confidence in decision. Mines erode that confidence. Every sonar contact becomes a question. Every delay becomes a risk. Every decision carries uncertainty, and uncertainty slows everything. Data takes longer to process. Decisions take longer to make. Actions are delayed. The system, designed for speed, begins to hesitate. And hesitation, in a contested environment, is vulnerability. If you understand how engineering shapes modern warfare, type proud in the comments. Because what is happening here is not visible in explosions or headlines. It is happening in processing time, in decision latency, in the invisible space between detection and action, and that is where the kill chain is breaking. To see the full picture, the entire sequence must be traced. A U.S. surveillance satellite passes overhead, scanning the strait. It detects surface vessels, it tracks known contacts, it identifies patterns, but it sees nothing beneath the surface, no anomaly, no signature. The data flows to command centers. Everything appears normal. A destroyer enters the strait escorted by patrol vessels. Its radar scans the horizon. Its sonar listens below. The sonar returns are cluttered. Natural seabed features, marine life, debris, nothing definitive. But intelligence reports suggest possible mine deployment, unconfirmed. The destroyer slows. This is the first break. Speed is reduced not by threat engagement, but by uncertainty. Mine countermeasure units are deployed. Unmanned underwater vehicles begin scanning. Each pass covers a narrow strip. A contact appears. It could be a mine or a rock. The data is transmitted. Operators analyze the shape, the acoustic. Signature. They cannot be certain. A remotely operated vehicle is sent for visual confirmation. This takes time. Meanwhile, traffic backs up. Tankers wait. The economic pressure builds. Command must decide, clear the area fully, or risk transit. The decision is delayed. This is the second break. Decision-making is no longer rapid, it is cautious, measured, because the cost of error is catastrophic. The ROV confirms, it is a mine. Neutralization is required. Explosive charges are placed, detonation occurs. One mine is cleared, but the assumption shifts. If there is one, there are more. The clearance area expands. More scans, more contacts, more verifications. Time stretches. Hours become days. During this period, Iranian coastal radar tracks the slow-moving clearance operations. Fast attack craft position themselves. Missile batteries remain on standby. Drones provide local surveillance. They do not engage. They do not need to. Their presence is enough to complicate the environment. Now the U.S. Navy must consider not just mines, but potential simultaneous threats. Air defense systems are activated. Surface warfare assets adjust. Positioning. The operational picture becomes layered, complex. Data flows increase. More inputs. More variables. Processing slows further. This is the third break. The system is overloaded not by volume of threats, but by diversity of uncertainty. Finally, after extensive clearance, a corridor is declared safe. Transit resumes, but at reduced speed, with heightened caution. The kill chain has not been restored. It has been degraded. Detection is incomplete. Data is uncertain. Decisions are delayed. Execution is cautious. And this entire sequence was initiated not by a high-tech weapon, but by a passive device placed on the seabed, a mine. The system did not fail in combat. It failed in anticipation of combat, which is a deeper disruption. In the end, the strait remains open. Traffic resumes. No ships are lost. No major engagements occur. From a distance, it appears as stability. But the underlying system has changed. The U.S. Navy did not lose control of the waterway. It lost control of the tempo. Operations slowed. Decisions stretched. Confidence eroded. And in modern warfare, tempo is power. The ability to act faster than the adversary, to detect, decide, and strike in compressed timeframes, is what defines superiority. Iran's mine strategy does not destroy that capability. It dilutes it. It forces the system into a different mode. From rapid engagement to cautious clearance, from certainty to ambiguity. And in that shift, the advantage narrows, not because the Navy is weaker, but because the environment has been engineered to negate its strengths. This was never about sinking ships. It was about breaking a sequence. The kill chain is a product of engineering. Sensors, networks, algorithms, weapons, each designed to operate in harmony. But like any system, it has assumptions, visibility, detectability, actionable data. Remove those, and the system does not collapse in explosion. It slows, it hesitates, it questions itself. Iran's mine strategy exploits this, not through complexity, but through simplicity, a passive object, placed in a constrained environment, forcing an advanced system to confront uncertainty. And in that confrontation, a mathematics shift. Because warfare is not decided by the most powerful weapon, it is decided by the system that can maintain its logic under pressure. In the Strait of Hormuz, that logic is disrupted not by force, but by absence. No signal, no target, no certainty. And without certainty, even the most advanced kill chain cannot function as intended. This was never about force, it was about mathematics.